Isaac and his mother lived alone in a small house on a hill. Isaac kept to himself, drawing pictures and playing with his toys as his mom watched Christian broadcasts on the television. Life was simple, and they were both happy. That was until the day Isaac's mom heard a voice from above. Your son has become corrupted by sin. He needs to be saved. I will do my best to save him, my lord, Isaac's mother replied, rushing into Isaac's room, removing all that was evil from his life.
Good, which is an item.
Again, the voice called to her. Isaac's soul is still corrupt. He needs to be cut off from all that is evil in this world and confess his sins. I will follow your instructions, Lord. I have faith in thee, Isaac's mother replied, as she locked Isaac in his room, away from the evils of the world. One last time, Isaac's mom heard the voice of God calling to her. You've done as I've asked, but I still question your devotion to me. To prove your faith, I will ask one more thing of you. Yes, Lord, anything, Isaac's mother begged. To prove your love and devotion, I require a sacrifice. Your son, Isaac, will be this sacrifice.
Yeah.
Go into his room and end his life as an offering to me
nothing
to prove
religious
you love me above all else.
I didn't say that.
Yes, Lord, she replied, grabbing a butcher's knife from the kitchen.
Well, I mean, she's definitely crazy, no matter
Watching
what.
through a crack in his door, trembled in fear. Scrambling around his room to find a hiding place, he noticed a trap door to the basement, hidden under his rug. Without hesitation, he flung open the hatch, just as his mother burst through his door and threw himself down into the unknown depths below.
This is like him imagining that he's
escaping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is the Binding of Isaac, including the Wrath of the Lamb extras. I'm Flopsy.
From Pigeons.
And let's get started. So, do you know much about this game?
Well, I did watch you play through it earlier, so no, I still have no idea.
Okay, yeah, well, we'll pretend that you have never seen it.
Yes, I'm so new.
So, wait, yeah, you get the basic story from the beginning. Let's jump right in. So, you can play as a bunch of different people. Isaac, Magdalene, they all have biblical names, as you can tell. Judas, Eve, except this person who's kind of a zombie.
I still like question mark.
It's terrible, though.
I mean,
it's a terrible thing to play.
We'll
play with him again. Just lose horribly. You'll feel bad about yourself.
Yeah, I feel bad about myself now.
Alright. So we're starting out with the Curse of the Labyrinth, which means this floor is extra long and has 2 bosses at the end instead of 1. As you can see, question mark has blue hearts. Normally characters have red hearts. Blue hearts are harder to come by,
Do they
and are
work
not
better, or
nope.
They'll just disappear as time goes by no matter what?
No, only if you take damage.
Ah.
They work like regular hearts, except they're just harder to find. Like, they're not as common. So I'll use my incredible item here, and poop.
Nice.
And I'll destroy my bad poop with my tears in the hopes of finding something in it, because that's what every good boy does. So you fight in this game with your tears, really expressing. You basically cry at enemies until they go away. And right now it looks like I'm fighting a dark, moving meat steak with eyes.
It's like a garbage bag, I think.
No, it's you can't really see it, but it's a neat thing. So the poop recharges every room, as you can see, so I'm gonna do it every single time. Even though it's one of the worst items you can start with in the game. It's literally pretty useless. Alright, so this door right here with the gold around it and the crown marked on the map is a treasure room. You go into treasure rooms to get items, which will hopefully help you.
You got a lemon this time?
This is shitty. It's actually lemon mishap, which you can guess what it is.
Oh, fun.
If I use it, and I will use it once, it's a terrible item, otherwise it's even worse than poop and not worth it. I'll show you how it works. It works like you would expect. If they could say it was pee.
They can't say it's pee, but they can say it's poop?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's what they chose to do anyway. Pee's just too much. Okay, see, that's what it is. if I had caught an enemy in that, they would have taken damage. That's really about it.
Oh, that's cool, I guess.
No, it's terrible. It's a complete and total waste of an item.
I was just trying to look on the bright side.
There really isn't one with this character. Being honest with you.
I like him.
I mean, he's got spunk. No one can deny
exactly.
his amazing spunk. So,
Isaac.
we have to go through all these rooms until we find the room with the boss in it, and that's how we can move to the next floor. Oh god, I'm getting like yanked up on by these horrible things because the room is so small and I'm so weak. So those enemies, obviously, as will just follow you. They'll take the shortest path they can to you and just try and hug you to death. So you gotta kind of run away and dodge them. And occasionally, once you kill them the first time, they'll spawn into just bodies, or bodies that spurt blood, which can hurt you. Yes, it's a very funny sound effect. We're all very old here.
Yeah, I'm like 75.
So yeah, the reason I'm prying into these piles of poop is because I'm hoping to get an item. So this is why question mark
Piles of poop.
is sad, just because I can't use this heart.
I know.
I just get to move it all around the screen, sad. And my treasure room item wasn't that good, which means it's probably gonna be a really short run. So Binding of Isaac is a roguelike with random item generation and such, so every floor changes every run, the setup, the layout, the rooms themselves, the enemies in them, the items you get, all that changes every time, which makes the game pretty replayable. But it also makes the difficulty of each run really different. Some runs are much easier than others, but some items you get. Some items are a lot worse than others.
Yeah, didn't you say you clocked like 200 hours?
I've played this game for quite a while. One of the reasons I tend to play through bad runs a lot more than people I know. A lot of people give up in the middle, whereas I tend to go to the end because I kind of hate myself a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm a quitter though.
It's better in this game to quit. Like, I wouldn't have nearly as many hours. I probably would have a lot more achievements if I just gotta give up on. Like, this run is one I might give up on pretty quickly. Although I've only gone through one treasure room and I haven't had a boss yet. But I did lose one heart in that room already. Usually on the first floor you don't want to lose pretty much anything, but I've lost a lot now. But it's like kind of luck of the draw. Like if you get a room like I got,
yeah, the lemon one sucked.
That's really really crowded. It's hard not to take any kind of damage at all. But it's unlikely I'll get a soul heart, which is a problem. The problem with question mark is unless you have certain items, you're very unlikely to be able to pick up hearts. So you gotta hope against hope that even items that normally give you hearts only give you soul hearts when you're this character. So.
Bummer.
Also, XL levels tend to be harder than their individual components. Like the rooms tend to have more enemies in them and more restricted out sort of setups like this one. So the nice thing about this particular room is these enemies normally would come after me, but because they're blocked, they can't. So they're just standing there until I let them go. So if I let them go one at a time, I can take them on individually.
Yeah, sometimes the poop has items, right?
Very rarely. I've done it 4 times and I haven't gotten anything. That's pretty typical. I've also done numerous other poops and I haven't gotten anything from either. I feel like you'll get a gold thing. No spawn points.
Ooh, fancy.
Don't ask me how or why. I don't really want to know. Although you don't really want to think about much in Isaac's statement. It's all pretty. Sometimes when you complete a room, you get a drop in the middle of a key, a bomb, or a coin, or a heart. But you gotta just random. There's just a chance it'll happen. So there's a gusher, and this is another room where I'll probably end up taking damage, just because a lot of them definitely want to meet. Looks like I might be able to avoid it this time around. A lot of people think, well, not a lot of people, but damage anyway. Some people think speed's kind of important in this game because you can avoid enemies. I think speed might be the stat I'm least interested in. The reason being, yeah, well, there are some rooms that have spikes in them, and if you go too fast, you can actually run into spikes, so it actually can kind of bite you in the butt later on. But there are some bosses you can't beat if you're slow, so. Or you'll just take a lot more damage in order to beat. We'll hopefully see if I can ever find the freaking boss room. Alright, so as you can see here, there's some coins in the middle of the room which you can't get to, unless you can fly, which I can't. There's also a rock here that's different from all the other rocks, and I'll show you what happens when you bomb it. Well, firstly, I made a path to the middle so I can get these coins. Secondly, I got a drop of a bomb and a soul heart, and that's really good because you really need a soul heart. That's the soul heart pickup sound. And this is another room which is not as good because it doesn't have a funny rock, so I'm not going to bother bombing it.
Yeah.
This is a good room because it has a soul heart, so I will bomb the rocks. Yeah, I am. I'm back to original health. And have no other items. So I'm literally back to where I started. With a couple
Better than
with a couple more coins. And a couple more keys. But in terms of damage, output, range, all that, I'm exactly where I started. But see, the issue is you need to be doing well at this point.
yeah.
This is the first floor. It's the long first floor, which is the first floor. Hopefully I'll find the boss room soon, because I'd really like to die. I'll try my best, Pigeons, I will. I know you like him. Oh, the other is a horrible thing I forgot to tell you about, the Basement XL. Normally the first treasure room you see is automatically open, it does not require a key. If you're in the basement, this is not true. Both rooms require a key.
That sucks.
I know, it's a giant punch in the dick, if I'm being honest. I have 2 keys, so it's not a big deal, but sometimes you don't. And that's what it's really... Okay, this is a better treasure room item. Oh no, wait, actually, our first treasure room was open, so that's not always true. In some runs, the XL basement, both require keys. Depends, I've had that happen.
So Sister Maggie just follows you around
and shoots red shots, blood shots, which are much more powerful than my tears.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so. She also, if you're not careful, can move your bombs around and move them closer or farther away from you.
Oh.
Which can be a problem, but normally she's fine. Like, this is an okay item. You know, doubling your power is always nice. The only problem is she doesn't quite aim exactly with you. This is right here is the store. It requires a key to go into, but we don't really have enough money for me to really want to go in and waste the key.
Yeah.
But we'll go in later, if we're still alive. This is a nice room with a bunch of flies, although I still managed to get hit by one. Oh, 2. But... So every time you hit something, it does knockback. Oh, there are no funny rocks here. And the knockback can sometimes hit it into you if you're not lucky, if you're not careful. This is a mini Gish. It has you can see its pattern. A lot of these enemies are just about looking at the patterns and trying to figure out what you're supposed to do to resolve.
Yeah, it's kind of Pac-Man-ish, quite a lot of it.
You think?
Yeah.
I guess it kind of is like Avoid the Ghost. But here we go. Let's see what boss we got. Alright, Larry Jr., it's alright. It's a set of 2 worms, basically, that, do what you're seeing, and they'll leave poops behind, and if you're not careful, they can corner you.
I feel the food, whatever you see here.
I don't know, actually. I assume I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
I'm asking the real question.
Yeah, you are. I just wonder why, there are huge worms in, Isaac's basement. That's
a decent question.
So there's a fair number of bosses you can get on each individual floor. Some of them are like quite overtly difficult, others of them are kind of weird like this. I'm not really sure like how they tie together at all. Maybe they don't, who knows. But each boss usually has a more difficult component that can show up later on. Like Larry Jr. does. And if we see it, I'll let you know. But every boss pretty much has a standard version and a stronger version. And like I said, did we pick up a boss item and I just forgot?
Yeah, you picked up a coat hanger.
Oh, that's right. The coat hanger is quite good because it increases your shot speed. So that means you're just more tears per second, basically.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good boss item. That's a boss room item. It spawns every time you kill a boss. Usually hearts and other stuff will spawn also. Because this is Basement XL, we have to fight 2 bosses in a row, which is really not ideal, but hey, what do you do?
I believe in you.
But we're effectively doing 2 floors in one. So normally the basement has 2 different floors. You go through each one, fight each boss, and go to the next one. We're gonna fight the next boss immediately and go to the next floor. So this is one of the 4 horsemen. They're supposed to be a little harder than standard bosses. I don't actually find Bam to be that difficult. You'll see why. Because all he does is sort of guard out these flies, which you can kill really easily. And he has a attack that'll show you move adjacent to him, he'll charge at you. And if he charges at you, he often destroys his own flies. So if you're having trouble with flies, you can make him charge, and he'll fly for you a lot and try to get him. Of course, I got hit because I'm trying to show you this. Come on. Thank you. But actually, because of the firepower, because of Sister Maggie, it's actually easier for me to just kill it. That's his second form. After he's gone to about, like, I don't know, a little below half health, he'll turn into a head and just fire that at you, which is actually a good deal harder than his other form.
Does he charge still?
No, it's not. Although 4 horsemen always leave the same item, which is a cube of meat, which will change and evolve the more you get. For now, it's just basically a barrier that if a shot hits, it will not hit me, it soaks damage.
Sweet.
We've also gotten a devil room on this floor because we've taken no red heart damage. As Triple X, you'll never take red heart damage, so you get a lot of devil rooms. The problem is, I'll show you. Shit. Well, one of the problems in devil rooms is you might get Krampus. Krampus, it's not easy, especially if you have no items or shitty items. which I don't. As you can see, I'm doing very little damage, so I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time trying to kill him. I'll probably be dead by the end of this. But who knows? You know, let's just stay positive, as they say in Binding of Isaac. I don't know about that. But I'm having trouble. So he has 2 sets of attacks. He has the 3 then 4 blood drop bits, and he has the frying weird X attack, as I like to call it, which is often what I get hit by. He does have a little warning. He'll do that like sort of upset face thing, and then he'll do it. The problem is you're usually shooting him while he's doing it, so you'd really rather continue shooting him and move out of the way. Especially right now because my range isn't that great. But you just kind of move around and hope for the best. He's not too bad. He's just a lot. He's time consuming, and you usually lose a little bit of health. Yeah. And as XXX, that matters a lot. Unless you get an item that gives you more soul hearts, which would be great, but I don't have yet. And I have a lot of trouble telling which move he's going to do at any given time. So you try to prepare for both.
Yeah, he has a bit of a tell, but it's annoying.
It's a quick tell. There are worse bosses, certainly. Alright, good.
You did actually fairly
No, we did alright. Usually... Yeah, that's hard. We got a tarot card, which is pretty cool, which we'll talk about. Tarot cards do various things. The 2 of clubs doubles your number of bombs, which is pretty nice. And Krampus always leaves behind the same item, which is quite good, which is a lump of coal. Which makes sense, because he's Krampus, and it's called My Xmas Present, is what it reads.
Yeah.
And it ups your damage and makes your shots black.
You know.
So it's really quite a good item. It's a good damage up item, if you can get through the fight. Which we actually didn't have a problem with this time. So now on to the next set of floors, which can be either the caves or the catacombs. There's not much of a difference between them. So every floor we get a little picture which gives us some insight into Isaac's horrible life. And you can see that one...
Nobody likes Isaac. Have you considered, like, explored the idea that maybe Isaac's just an a-hole? Like, that's why no one likes him?
He doesn't seem to be. He seems to just be bullied.
He's like a little baby, but...
I mean, it's possible, but there's no indication in the game that's the case, although it would be funny.
Yeah, it was also...
No, it'd be great. I'd be honest. To be honest with you, it'd be great if Isaac was just an asshole and he deserved everything God was, like, throwing at him.
Yeah.
And, like, actually, he was just this... Maybe he killed his cat.
Yeah, maybe, like, Damien or something, yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk about his cat a little more later, when we die. So there are a couple of different enemies that are flies. You can see them. Some flies are small and shoot one shot at you. These flies are a little bigger, will shoot 2 shots in a diagonal-ish kind of pattern away from you. They're actually a little easier than the ones that shoot directly at you. You can stand right in front of them and avoid the shot. So I actually like these flies a little better, even though they take more hits. And we still haven't found anything in a poop yet, I just want to point out. Oh, such a thing. I'm always sad when I don't find things in my poop. Anyway, so these coins are in little spikes. Obviously, you can step on spikes.
Really hard.
Yep, you do. So those are basically ungettable, which is fine. But it's a great sound, though.
I like it.
Really, what's selling this video, I think. It's just the pooping sounds.
Sound effect.
No, the pooping sound. So the other nice thing about Binding of Isaac is every time you get an item, it physically changes your appearance, which I kind of like, you know?
Yeah,
it makes you look really weird. It's cool that way. You can also get a lot of little buddies, you know, kind of like, there's a lot of other, like, Sister Maggie-esque things in the game. It's kind of cool to have, like, a trail of people behind you. You feel really good about yourself. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it is. So these are white flies. They're a little different than other flies in that they will not attack you unless you destroy their little piles of poop, because I guess it's their home. Shit, I was not paying attention. Oh well, so this is where he first referenced Guppy, and this is your note you write whenever you die. There's a different picture of Isaac at the top every time. It shows what killed you, shows what you picked up during the run, and leaves everything to your cat Guppy, who unfortunately is heavily implied to be dead.
I don't think it's even heavily implied. I think it's all about right speaking.
Well, there's a dead cat in the basement. Doesn't mean it's your dead cat.
That's true.
God. So we're gonna try again as somebody else. Not as you.